This weekend we have two teams, one winner, one cup up for grabs. The weather in the capital, if you're just joining us, is a mere 22 degrees Celsius with a cold yet not so cold breeze, which makes kicking very interesting in today's game, as well as catching very interesting. As we look at the two sides, they're well matched, two different kind of rugby playing styles. Wanderers more of the technical yet composed. Kudus, of course, more robust yet very unpredictable style of rugby. In your screen there, the man that is about to make 4 Premier League titles there, Nandivatu Karwombe, as well as Jurgen Meyer, speedsters there for the F&B Wanderers side. It is looking up to be a great, electrifying rugby game. With me in commentary today, none other than, he needs no introduction to the game of rugby, Donovan, the man, the myth, the legend. Few Premier League titles with the invincible Unam in 2015, of course. Now, with me today, Donovan, what is there to expect in this electrifying rugby game?
Thank you for having me today, Henry. Good evening to the viewers on our screens today. We are gearing up for a beautiful, mouth-watering encounter of rugby. Similar playing styles, if you think about it, with both sides having very powerful forwards and some exciting backline players, and a crop of them being the center of Namibia's home-based international players, or Namibia's Valvicha players rather, based in Namibia. Kickoff there by Danko Berger. He sees the skies, and Kudus gather the ball there, Henry.
Definitely great kick, however, knock on there very early into the game by the F&B Wanderers side. Great carry there in the middle of the field by Zander Verviers. Shombe looking to hoist it high into the Windhoek sky. Jack thrown under the ball there. Adrian Boysen collects, however, knock on there is the call by the referee in officiating the game today, Zaid, of course, in the middle of all this action. The man in your screen there, very well decorated referee. Refereed some of Africa's best tournaments. Zaid, of course, one of the most consistent referee that Namibia has seen, actually, just to put it out there to the viewers. We get to our first line out of the game. Ball in hand there, about to feed the line out. Joran Koning, who finds Jan Thompson. Shombe plays Cooper, carried well by Justin Newman in the middle of the park. Met well, of course, by Adrian Boysen, the bulky big number 8. Lloyd goes the blind side. Jan Thompson, who had an exceptionally great game last weekend against Grootfontein. Lloyd Jacobs, one of Namibia's best finishers there, ball in hand. Finds Verviers, who finds Jan Thompson. So far, Kudus being met well in defense by the white wall of F&B Wanderers. Great run there by Mwashi. Verviers again, looking to be very busy for him this afternoon. Cooper with ball in hand, plays it wide to Ashton Mukulongo. One-on-one nightmare. Ashton Mukulongo, met well, of course, by Johnny. Great line carry there by F&B Kudus. Verviers again with ball in hand. Jan Thompson, will he be able to expose the speed? Siep Lucio. Siep stands 2, step 3. Try time, F&B Kudus. What a try by Lucio Isaacs. Siep, he's as slippery as a bar soap. Screen there, the man in the screen there, Lucio Siep Isaacs. He got the name from being as slippery as a bar of soap, of course, with the first try of this Premier League finals between F&B Kudus against F&B Wanderers. Donovan.
Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant from Lucio Isaacs, Siep as they call him, obviously, and for obvious reasons, as you saw there, very slippery, evading the likes of experienced Nandivatu Karuombe to score a brilliant try, having evaded 3 Wanderers defenders coming at him with vigor and pace, Henry.
Definitely great try there by Siep, of course, who scores the try, waiting for the conversion to come by Cooper, who, of course, Donovan, we must mention that was part of the winning team last year of Kudus Reserve, who now we just witnessed, if you're just joining us, Kudus, of course, being victorious over the mighty Unam to make their to defend their title was Cooper making a means of the try there. Great execution of the try as well as the conversion there. As we look at that replay again, Siep 1, Siep 2, Siep 3, Siep try time. The score, if you're just joining us, of course, is 7-0 in favor of FNB Kudus, who are, by the way, the first time playing in the Premier League finals. Consecutively, they have made the playoffs 4 times. However, this time around, they're in the finals to face the defending champions, the White Stallions, FNB Wanderers. Jack Tron there with ball in hand, ready to feed the first scrum of the game. The packs look well matched as Joshua was included in today's Kudus side, of course, just to add a bit of weight. As we look there, Wanderers fans in the stands. Hans Goshi there last weekend had a nightmare of a game, one would say, against Kamakayao, hoping to redeem himself after that scrum session that they had with Kamal last weekend. It was clearly personal more than anything else. However, he might have lost the scrums, but won the game, and he is playing the finals, unlike Kamakayao. First scrum looks promising. Danny van der Merwe. Great Kelly and met well there. Danko Burger with the handoff against Ashton Mukulongo. Danko Burger scores FNB's Wanderers' first try of the game. What a response from the defending champions through their vice captain, Danko Burger. Zenobia Zal there in the stand, of course. Sorry, apologies. Zenobia Karuombe in the stands, of course, supporting her husband also, who is playing today in the finals, Nandi Batu Karuombe. Great try there by FNB Wanderers. Great response by the defending champions, Danko Burger, to convert his try that he has scored there.
Henry, this is nothing less than what we expected from Wanderers. A great response, and no one other than the experienced Danko Burger playing out of position for the second game running, but that doesn't seem to be a problem for him, as he beautifully fends off Danko Burger before he does that for a second time before scoring a beautiful try, and now looking to convert his own try.
Definitely there, Danko Burger to convert, however pushes it to the right of the post. The score as it stands, 6 minutes played, FNB Kudus 7. As we look yet at another replay of that try, fends off Ashton Mukulongo, who is the nightmare when it comes one-on-one, but is having his own dreams today. Great fend there by the big bulky number 10 for FNB Wanderers, who scores a try, however unable to convert his try there. The score remains 7-5 in favor of Kudus, who are now trying to pull this rebel out of the head from beating the defending champions, FNB Wanderers. The captain there, PJ Walters, who hoists his high into the Windhoek sky, not communicated there by Danny van der Merwe as well as Johnny van der Moenyo, who's Johnny Moenyo. Penalty is the call there. Shumbe quick tap, not 10 would be the call. Advantage being played for FNB Kudus. Yeah, Thompson, great strong carrier of the ball there. Met well by Hans Goshi. Shumbe again. Mwashi. The captain there, BJ Walters met well in the center of the field. Lloyd Jacobs, oh, thumping tackle there by the vice captain of F&B Wanderers and the try scorer, Danko Berger. Ryan Fierez there trying to make the most of the situation. However, referee Zaid brings it back. Penalty there for F&B Kudus. Interesting to see what the call may be. Everybody dropped back clearly. They're going to kick for post here. Michael Koopman with ball in hand. Sorry, Michael Koopman. Apologies, viewers. With ball in hand. So far, kicking 100% ratio, 1 out of 1. This, for a player of this caliber, needs to ease an easy kick. If you're just joining us, we are at the Hage Geingob Stadium to witness yet another finals, Premier League finals for that matter, between F&B Wanderers as they take on F&B Kudus. Great kick there by Michael Koopman, who extends their lead to 5 points there. Score as it stands, F&B Kudus 10, F&B Wanderers 5. With the restart to come by Danko Berger. Hoisted high into the Windhoek sky. Ref calls backwards there, lost by Franco Fries. Retention of the ball, Kudus looking good. Kenneth Sabeb. Shumbe able to exit. Not far off, however, he does find touch. Donovan, isn't it interesting to see that Kudus making it to the finals, however, no player of theirs is in the national team call-up?
Yeah, no, that is very interesting. And one will question whether that was technically done or whether that is due to the preferences of the coach in Jack Berger being the director of rugby. So, yeah, it is very interesting as Wanderers charge there through Adrian Boyson. Beautiful charge there from Adrian Boyson, and Wanderers still on the ball. Jürgen Meyer trying to execute, and he does so successfully. Brilliant execution by Jürgen Meyer as Wanderers find their way back into this one as the scores are tied at 10 with a conversion attempt to come.
Definitely great try there by F&B Wanderers. While just speaking about the national team collection, they is just showing their quality of the national team players they have in the squad there. Jürgen Meyer combining well with Adrian Boyson as well as Danko Berger to score that try right in the corner. Great finishing there by the young 20-year-old boy Jürgen Meyer, who also played his trade at Orban, of course, and now currently playing his trade with F&B Wanderers. Inspirational play there by the F&B Wanderers, who are looking like the champions that they are. Danko Berger to obviously add 2 points to take the lead, as his first kick was unsuccessful, of course. Again, just drifting it wide. As we have a look at yet another look at that try again, Jürgen Meyer making the most of that. One must mention that it's poor defense from Lloyd, of course, with such great experience. Ashton Mukulongo there trying to make a means of what was left of what. PJ Walters there in the middle of the field to get this game up and underway again. The score is 10-all between F&B Wanderers and F&B Kudus. Johnny Mueño there with a great touch finder, not finding much ground though. As they refer to him, Johnny van der Mueño. In your screen there, not a very convincing game last weekend for a player of his caliber. However, this weekend we'll hope for redemption. Johnny van der Mueño been having an exceptional season so far. As we wait for the feed on the lineouts, Jan Tempson collects. Contact there in the air is the call by the lineout, by the referee, sorry. Zaid, also one of the most consistent. Koopman opting to go to post there. Definitely it is a final. One could see that you have to have your kicking boots on a game of this magnitude and making sure you collect all the points necessary. So far having a perfect record of 2 out of 2. Koopman there. One must mention that 6 of the current players that are in the Kudus Premier League squad this year have won of course the reserve league last year with F&B Kudus, and of course now playing their trade in the F&B Premier League team. Koopman to line up the kick and does that successfully. Ice in my veins. Donovan, what do you make of the game so far?
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day of rugby, and then a great conversion there from Kudus to take the lead in this game by 13 points to 10. And yeah, they've taken the next punch of this one again, like the reserve league. We saw a pound for pound encounter, and this one is proving to be exactly that, Henry.
Definitely, as we get underway once more again. Wanderers there with ball in hand. Great retention of the ball. Jack thrown at the base of the ruck. Great big hands there. Johnny van der Mueño messes it up, but Jurgen makes the most of it. According to ref, Zaid there is a knock-on in favor of F&B Kudus. More of a bailout card, one would say, Donovan.
Yeah, no, Kudus got very lucky with that one, Henry, as Wanderers was getting ready to take the next blow, or to take the next swing of the pendulum in this one, Henry.
Definitely, as we prepare for yet another scrum in this wonderful encounter between F&B Wanderers against F&B Kudus. The score, if you are just joining us on this lovely Saturday afternoon, the score is 13-10 in favor of F&B Kudus. Wanderers, of course, defending their title, former champions. PJ Walters, ball in hand. Ball doesn't need hand to do his offload and centering pair. Ball turned over there by F&B Wanderers. Trying to slow the ball as much as possible. Great line speed there. Rousseau there with ball in hand. Unsung heroes there for Wanderers, one might say. Jack with the dummy. Oh, thumping tackle there. Fierce, Raheel Fierce, scored in the corner! What a try by F&B Wanderers! Donovan, what do you make of that?
Yeah,
the champions
absolutely.
Clearly looking like the champions that they are. A bit of consultations from the ref though.
Yeah, no, there were some questions asked, and the try has been awarded to Wanderers. Great power there by the number 12 and center in Ray East Fierce to score a brilliant try for Wanderers and get them back into the lead. Henry, it's pound for pound in the first 15-16 minutes of this game, Henry, and we're looking forward to a mouth-watering one as Danko Berger gears to take the conversion attempt there.
No, definitely what a try it was there by Ryan Furious, who has actually worked his way up to the Wanderers ranks, one must note. Waiting for the kick there by the Wanderers vice-captain, Danko Berger. Danko Berger, third attempt at goal, and misses once more again. That's the third one today. Is it time for a new kicker, Donovan, one would say?
I think it might be time to get, as we watch the replays there by Wanderers, to score that absolute power by their number 12 center in Reyes Fierez to get through two ongoing defenders to score a brilliant one. And one might ask the question whether or not Hans Goshi might have knocked that ball forward there leading up to that try. But again, great power, great continuity, and a beautiful try by Reyes Fierez.
As you see in the stands there, Donovan, the Kudus faithful as well as the Wanderers faithful sitting next right to each other there. PJ Walters getting us back underway in this game. Nandi Batukarwombe, Rousseau gets it out of the air there, supported by his teammate there, Nandi Batukarwombe. Jack thrown at the base of the deck. Who plays there? Danny van der Merwe. Up and under it goes high into the Windhoek sky. Siep under it, well collected there. Lloyd Jacobs, who kicks it right into the hands of Adrian Boysen. Might be his nightmare. Beats one, beats two, beats three. Adrian Boysen going strong. One must mention that poor tackling from from FNB Kudus. Danko Berger there with ball in hand, driven back, of course, by the might and the power of the FNB Kudus defense. Jack Thron again looking for the 50-22, kicks it right into the hands of the one-on-one nightmare, Eston Mukulongo, who finds Lloyd Jacobs, hoofs it up the field, kicks it behind Nandi Batukarwombe, Kumaipurwa, beats Lloyd on the outside, bumps Siep, but hangs on. Holding is the call from the referee. Great play there by FNB Kudus. Franco Fries, the number 7. Seems like again, Donovan, we're looking at the chance of the referee there. Discipline once more again becoming a factor, don't you think?
Yeah, again, Henry, only 18 minutes played, but a lot of penalties gone to either side. So I think the coaches will want to look into that, maybe fake an injury, get the boys down, and then get a stern talking to and try to sort that out before it might actually cost them the game on either side, Henry.
Definitely, Donovan, well summed up there. Again, it's interesting to see Cooper being so good off his boot that he opted to kick for line rather than take for post there. Is it a confidence gainer, or what exactly would you say that would be?
Yeah, that is definitely a testament of their confidence in Kudus. A very passionate side with passionate supporters, always backing their boykies. I think it's again a very confident statement from them to go for the line as opposed to taking 3 points as they drive their beautiful maul rugby there by Kudus. Thompson van den Berg on the ball right now. Advantage to Kudus. Henry.
As we see there, the ball still moving there for FNB Kudus. Driving the ball, Jan Thompson at the center of it, of course. Still playing under advantage is FNB Kudus. A breakout there from the number 4. Cannot save it. Manuel on the line. Again, another beautiful tackle there on Franco Fries. Going back on the middle of the field. However, the white wall of Wanderers standing stern. One can cut the tension with a knife on the field right now. Jan Thompson. Definitely deciding to go wide now with Justin Newman, who beats his opposite number to stop the try for FNB Kudus. of FNB Kudus, Justin Newman, former World Cup Namibia player, of course, who narrows the score now, or actually takes the lead for FNB Kudus to 18-15. Danko Burger there on his knee, getting some medical attention, of course. Donovan, Justin Newman looking like the next number 13.
Yeah, absolutely, Henry. We had a similar conversation, you and I, last week on air, and again, that question will be asked. Is Justin Newman the answer we have at number 13 with the retirement of our captain, fantastic in Johan Deisel? Do we think Justin Newman might just be the one to take that spot next to Danko Burger, or will it be UNAM's Kino Isaacs, or will it be JC Nel coming in from the Griquas? So it's an interesting question, obviously, to ask as Kudus attempt that conversion, and it's unsuccessful. The scoreline then remains 15-18 in favor of Kudus.
As we look at the replay once more again of that try, one must also highlight that it is poor defense from Danko Burger there, who basically just slips a tackle and makes Justin Newman look like the player that he is, of course, very elusive, very explosive, and scores yet another try. Danko Burger to get us underway yet once more again. Collected there by Lloyd, who offloads it to Justin Newman, who just scored a try. Johnny van der Muenyo with ball in hand, very dangerous, who kicks, but kicks into Lloyd's hands, who finds Siep, Lucio Isaacs. Not a very convincing kick, however. Zayn bringing it back for an offside call there. As we can see there in your screen, Kalasa, former Kudus player, scrum specialist, of course.
Henry, the trophy being paraded, the Reserve League trophy that is being paraded there among the fans, the Kudus faithfuls, the Sebule faithfuls, as we just seen, getting back into action. Kudus there getting a line out in right on the Wanderers 10, so about 40 meters for them to try and exploit and possibly extend on their three-point lead, Henry.
Yeah, no, definitely great touch finder there by FNB Kudus, who now have a line out, however not able to find the jumpers. Kwopman with ball in hand, one-on-one with Tony Moyo, two-on-one. Kwopman will score this one for FNB Kudus. Scores not once but twice. Got the ball not once but twice. They say take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice. Kwopman doing very well right there to extend the lead to 23-15 for FNB Kudus. Great awareness there by Kwopman, noticing that the Wanderers defense are definitely wearing pajamas. They're not able to notice that the ball was lying around, and just exposing it, making the most of that situation there. Kwopman now with ball in hand to convert his own try.
Yeah, Henry, I think last week Kudus Reserve League beat Wanderers, and that game was very similar to this one. For most of it, it looked like Wanderers wanted to win it based off their pedigree or name, as opposed to actually taking or putting in an effort on the field, as we see the number 10 there from Kudus, Michael Kwopman, converting his own beautiful try. Again, Henry, like I said, last week it looked like Wanderers Reserve League wanted to win it. As we look there through the replay, beautifully done there by Kwopman. Great pace there from him to show the Wanderers players a clean pair of heels. As we know, Nandi Karuambe being a very pacey winger, not being able to stop him. Getting back to action, Kudus back on the ball there, Henry.
Definitely, if you're just joining us, the score is currently 25-15 for FNB Kudus. Danko Berger charging in the middle of the field, beats one, but met well. Not much Rousseau calling for it there for the Wanderers. Met well in the center of the field. Call the penalty for FNB Kudus. Wanderers starting this game the same way they started last weekend's semi-final, second half against Trusca United. A bit lackluster. Captain PJ Walter with a touch finder there. Consultation between Jack Tron and as well as the ref there. Probably just a warning. PJ Walters. Joshua Lloyd, Joshua Jacobs there, number 4, who started after being on the bench last weekend. Great line out there by FNB Kudus. PJ Walters plays it wide to Lloyd Jacobs, who opts to kicks it upfield. Not supporting body weight there. It's beautiful to see the comfort and the relaxation of the Wanderers players. Not much excitement and not much energy being put into trying to constantly restarting the game, resetting it, going back into structure as Johnny Mueno kicks to line. With ball in hand, Edward Trotsky, who had a thumping of a game, exciting of a game last weekend against Trusca United, who scored a very great try also. Does well to find his jumper, but the referee says that's cue of Edward Trotsky's hands. Scrum is the call there by FNB Kudus, who will now get to feed the scrum. Scrum so far looking very much within control of both this team. Your ball is your ball, my ball is my ball kind of vibes. Shumbe with ball in hand, ready to feed the scrum. The score currently 25-15 in favor of Kudus, who of course won the reserve league. If you're just joining us, feeds well, the scrum is steady. Shumbe at the base of the, plays it wide to his captain, PJ Walters, who kicks a thumping kick into the FNB Kudus, into the FNB Wanderers half. Donovan?
Yeah, I think he attempted 50-22 there, and he'll be gutted not to successfully attain that. But again, brilliant work from the Kudus side to keep their foot on the Wanderers' neck and leading this game by 10 points. Obviously, they'll hope to get into the second half with a similar scoreline or a similar margin rather, and probably go into the second half and try to finish it off for their very first Premier League title.
Great take there out of the air by Lucio Isaacs. PJ Walters, who kicks it high into the vintage skies. Johnny with a lot of time on his hands, collects it well. Steps one, he beats the gap. Johnny Mueno goes, dummies. I think there was time for an offload there. Hold, offside. Johnny Mueno there.
Yeah, great stuff from Johnny van der Mueno, as you like to call him, Henry. Great run there from him, but like you said, it was time for him to offload it right there at the end, and he got lucky to get the penalty back.
Great touch finder once more again from Johnny. As you can see there in your screen, one of the most consistent players this season for FNB Wanderers, who is now playing on the number 15 jersey, who actually prefers the number 10 jersey, which is clearly overly populated when it comes to the Wanderers outfit, of course. In ball on hand there, Trotsky ready to feed the line out. Done so successfully. Adrian Boyson with a carry down the middle of the field. But Kudus defense met him well. Great clean out there by... Oh, great kick. Nandibatu Karuambe. That deserves a 5 points from Lloyd. Try saving, tackle or interception, one must say, by Lloyd Jacobs. If such moments were awarded tries, then that would have been definitely a 5-pointer as well from Lloyd. Great awareness there, great vision and great anticipation of what could happen. As you see there, the Wanderers faithful happily watching this final. The champions currently behind 10 points, 30 minutes played. We thought the reserve league was a benchmark. Clearly, the Premier League just upped the notch.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Henry. I think I think one thing that I do notice, even on the Wanderers bench, is a sense of calmness. I think is that attributed to the fact that they've been here before, Henry. They know how to win here. They know how to take points at the vital times. As again, they take a brilliant line out there, but it's called back by the referee Zaid Wolafir, and it seems like it might have been a skew throw in. So he brings it back there, and it will be a scrum, I believe, to Kudus. Henry?
Yeah, no, definitely. Wanderers looking like a mere shadow of themselves when we speak of lineouts. Taking into consideration last weekend, they did exceptionally well. They did exceptionally well against Trasco United. However, today, I see they're not using their normal jumper, Ruan Ludig, who is currently not doing the jumping work. It could be an attribute to that. Right now, it's Kudus the feet to the scrum in their own 5-meter line. Shumbe finds their captain again, who kicks it unconvincingly. Eston Mukulongo, the one-on-one nightmare with ball in hand. Great retention of the ball by FNB Kudus. Shumbe kicks it high into the Ventuk sky. Great touch finder there to release some of the pressure of the FNB Kudus half. Lloyd Jacobs there with a great interception. Scoreline would have definitely been different had Nandibatu Garwombe gotten a hold of that ball. As we see there, men down, getting some medical attention. Just awaiting to confirm who the player down is.
It looks like they're locked in Joshua Jacobs. That's the number 5 lock for Kudus as he slowly gets up there, and it is indeed Joshua Jacobs, Henry.
Definitely there. Joshua Jacobs also brought into the side after the omission of him when he started from the bench last weekend. Clearly Roger Thompson looking at putting some weight on the forward pack by the inclusion of Joshua Jacobs. In your screen there, the primary jumper of Western Suburbs, Wanderers. Again, Wanderers lineout's not looking very convincing today. Shumbe with ball at the base of the ruck. Copper hoisted high into the Ventuk sky. That's a tricky one with the sun in your face. Nandibatu Karwombe with ball in hand, kicks it forward and chases it. Great kick there by Nandi Karwombe. That's a 50-22 by Kumai Purwa, Nandibatu Karwombe. Great kick there by the Wanderers, number 11, currently. These are moments that really shift momentum in the game. The man in your screen there, hoping to make this his 4th Premier League title after winning 1 with Trasco United, 2 with Wanderers, and now in the final against Kudus. Great defense of the ball there by FNB Kudus, plays it well. Fierce plays it out the back door. Dummy, Danko Berger. Great retention of the ball. Goes back into the side. Hans Koshi running, rolling back the years when he was a wing. Now wearing number 1 jersey for FNB Wanderers. But met well in defense. Also tackled backwards. Oh, save there. Unable to contain the Wanderers attack. Brought down, Jagtron, quick retention of the ball. Joe Losper. Again, the blue wall of FNB Kudus. Defense looking very much too strong, as you can see there on your screen. The Wanderers support is not convinced by the referee's call, of course. However, it is what it is, and it is a penalty for FNB Kudus. PJ Walters definitely looking good from the boot today, Donovan, finding great touch with his kicks.
Absolutely monstrous with his kicks. The man from Karasburg, PJ Walters, hailing from the beautiful rugby family, the Walters. His uncle Brandon Walters being an absolute nightmare for a lot of defenders and attackers alike, playing in the green and white of the Western Suburbs faithfuls, and a lot of his family done a lot for Namibian rugby, and now him again, another one trying to add his name to Namibian rugby supremacy as he tried to claim Kudus' very first Premier League title. Kudus there on the ball, great up and under there, great hang time. Anandi Karuombe unable to take it. The scrummer retains his ball. Great run there from Kudus. Great grubber as unfortunately he Nandi Karuombe, the question would be asked, does he carry it over? It seems that was the case, so it will be a scrum on the 5 meter for Kudus, Henry.
Definitely, Donovan. Great run by Shumbe. Great run by Shumbe, of course, who brings the pressure back into the Wanderers' half. FNB Kudus definitely not holding anything back with today's game as they want to join their reserve team. Ball in hand there is Shumbe, who just made an electrifying run. Joshua Jacobs unfortunately having to give way to Vikas Cowley. Joshua Jacobs, the brother of Lloyd Jacobs as well. Shumbe about to feed the scrum. Does so successfully. Steady scrum by FNB Kudus. Shumbe at the base of it plays Koopman, who plays Justin Newman. Beats one, beats two. Met well there by the Wanderers defense. The hood has gone for the first half. However, the game is still in play. Yeah, Thompson met well. Advantage it is for FNB Kudus. Shumbe with a quick tap and go. Does he get it? Shumbe! What a try by FNB Kudus. Great try by Shumbe, who was able to notice the Wanderers defense. Again, slipping Donovan. Fouled with your pajamas once more again after the try that was scored by his number 10 flyer, Koopman.
Yeah, Henry, it was brilliant there from Tombe. Having tried the whole game, Rishon Tombe, having tried the whole game. Persistence is the name of the game when it comes to Rishon. Having tried to get that one, and he finally does catch Wanderers napping and scores a brilliant try, an absolute poacher of a try there from Rishon, Henry.
Definitely a typical scrum of try. One that Wanderers would not expect. Koopman currently with the opportunity to extend the score to 17 points. The boot, it looks good from off his boot, however misses it to the right. Great first half of rugby as we look at that highlight once again. Look at Shumbe's awareness. I think he is the Jack Russell and that Jack Tron. Look at that step. Hans Goshi not able to meet Shumbe there. Again, look at that. He's not focusing, he's not facing his defense. These are takers, and that is what happens.
Yeah, no, Henry, that was absolutely lackluster from Hans Goshi. He will be gutted. He will be gutted not to have done a better job at that passage of defense, having just completely switched off and probably ready, having already heard the hooter. He was probably ready for halftime, and he didn't prepare himself for what Ray Sean was about to take or bring out of his arsenal. As Henry mentioned in a previous game, it's funny to mention Arsenal in any form of final. Yeah, and as we see there on our screens, the Kudus fans and the Wanderers team in a huddle there. A lot of talking to definitely needed by their coach in Daryl de la Harp, and Gert Henning, one of the assistants there in the Wanderers, vastly rich in experience coaching staff. And we see there Kudus warming up as we watch the highlights from the first half. Danko Berger with a kickoff. Jad Thompson with a beautiful pass there to Siep, who lived up to his name as he evaded 3 defenders, including Nandivatu Karuambe, to score a brilliant try there to get us underway. Again, as we see there, Siep or Lucio Isaacs in great footwork, showing great footwork there to score a brilliant try that was successfully converted by their number 10 in Michael Koopman, before Wanderers, through their inspirational leader, even though not the captain today, Danko Berger, scored a brilliant try that was solely down to strength and beautiful fending technique to get past Eston Wakalengo twice in one move. Score a brilliant try before Michael Koopman restored parity there with a beautiful penalty kick right in front of the posts to get Kudus back into the game, before Wanderers again came back, and this time through under-20s, national under-20s winger Jürgen Meyer, showing brilliant finishing attributes there to execute brilliantly through past his opposite number in Aston Wakalango after lackluster defense by Lloyd Jacobs. So Michael Koopman again off his boot for a penalty attempt, which he converted successfully. We watched that beautiful kick again there from Michael Koopman. And then this seemed like a knock-on from Hans Goshi before great power from Reis Furies. Again, there we see the number 1 in Hans Goshi knocking that ball on before Reis Furies takes it and shows great power to go through and score a brilliant try, barring that knock-on, of course, from Hans Goshi. A brilliant try from Wanderers to get them back into touching distance of Kudus, before Kudus then came back through Justin Newman to score a brilliant touch finder. A 5-pointer rather. Absolutely evading the number 13 from Wanderers, number 10 in Danko Berger. Absolutely evading Danko Berger for that try, similar to the one that Danko Berger scored. And then brilliant footwork from Michael Koopman before showing Nandi Karuambe a clean pair of heels for a brilliant try to get then his team back into the lead and going into halftime oozing in confidence. Johnny van der Muenyo, one of the two defenders beaten to that try by Michael Koopman, who then tried to convert his own try, and I believe it was successfully so, taking us into halftime with a score line of 30 points to Kudus and 15 points. Sorry, there was a final try there, brilliantly done by Rayshawn Tombe, and a great sidestep there from him to make sure that he evades Hans Goshi, who was rather lackluster in his defense, and score a brilliant try to take then Kudus into halftime with a scoreline of 30 points and 15 to Wanderers. Ladies and gentlemen, to those of y'all who are just joining us at the Hage Geingob Stadium in Windhoek, today we have an exciting encounter. Wanderers, FNB Wanderers Rugby Club versus FNB Kudus. FNB Wanderers being the defending champions, of course, and Kudus finding themselves in uncharted territory, having never been in a Premier League final, but bossing it like they've been here before. Henry Kanjo with me in studio today and being the lead anchor of this one. Henry, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Donovan, for welcoming back on the second half of this final of the FNB Wanderers against the FNB Kudus. The score, if you're just joining us, the score is 30-15 in favor of Kudus. Of course, the calmness of the Wanderers team just seems as though they're still in the lead, or the game has just started. It speaks a lot of their composure. Hans there consulting with Drotsky on the line out. Very unsuccessful line out so far, and that's yet another one. Verviers there carries well in the middle of the field. Shumbe comes back on the blind side with Thompson. Great query there by Kudus number 1, Mwashi. Koper in the middle of the field for Fish again, being accustomed to ball carrying. Justin Newman, Thompson, beats one, beats two, offloads, looks like a forward pass, however, ref playing advantage and brings it back. Probably could have held onto it there, Donovan, don't you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thompson doing very well, giving the ball to Justin Newman before claiming it back from Justin Newman. But there at the end, I think, again, such is characteristic of Kudus to not execute at the very end. And again, Thompson disappointing with a passage there in the very end, having done brilliantly well to get his team about 15 to 25 meters, and then unsuccessfully passing the ball to his teammate there for a Wanderers scrum. Henry.
Great scrum there by FNB Kudus. Mweshi, you can see there in your screen this appreciation of what it means to them. Koper making the most of it. Try with the acrobatic jump, something clearly they practice on the field. As you can see, the Kudus management there and ownership celebrating the try. Great awareness again, once more again, Wanderers caught napping and resulting into yet another try for the two youngsters in the name Michael Koopman as well as Shumbe.
Henry, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Koopman might be on the hat-trick right now, having just scored again. So he will be chasing his hat-trick after this one. Definitely, Henry. I think we're all shell-shocked at the moment. Wanderers not expecting this. We're not expecting this. I think Kudus are on cloud 9 at the moment, and we're here to find out where Wanderers are, but definitely not in this stadium at the moment, Henry.
Definitely not on cloud nines, Donovan. As we see there, Koopman converting the try that he just scored. Looking at it again, sloppy play. Wanderers again with back against the defense, against the attack, allowing Koopman to score yet another similar try. That's the third one where Wanderers were caught napping. Just before this game, Donovan, I remember you asking, saying it's almost far-fetched for Kudus winning this one. However, currently they have a very far lead. Look at that again. Koopman beats one, beats two, beats Jacques Throne. Very uncommon, yet does the shimmering jump to score the try.
Yeah, no, Henry, I did ask that question, and I think the odds were 9-1 that Kudus will go ahead in this one, and I think they took that chance, and I think it didn't matter to them what the odds were. They have been hungry for this title for a very long time. They have been threatening to get it for a very long time. Henry, they've been consistently the most exciting team in Namibian rugby as far as entertainment is concerned, with the scoreline 37-15 in favor of Kudus. I think, Henry, they have for a long time been very, very exciting, very entertaining, and I think finally they've come to the party, and they're threatening to take that very first Premier League title.
Yeah, no, definitely. We have seen it on Life in Rugby, where they did mention that Kudus being the most exciting overall team when it comes to social media, playing style, fans. Basically, they sum it all up. And currently, they look like they're definitely looking to their first Premier League title. It is very much early to call. Justin Newman there getting some medical attention after an interaction there with one of the Wanderers walls. Johnny van der Mooyen with ball in hand to find touch. Again, Donovan, one must highlight the fact as to how calm the Wanderers look. However, surprisingly, they're going to line, and their lineouts have not been very to confirm how this one will go. Edward Drotsky finds his main jumper, of course. He was found. However, again, Edward Drotsky, that skew according to Zaid Olafir again. So far, I'm yet to see a successful line out from F&B Wanderers, and it is becoming concerning. They're looking like a mere shadow of themselves. One must highlight, we can already see a chance of hole, hole, hole from the Kudus faithful. Thumping kick there by Captain Fantastic, PJ Walters, who is yet to set a foot wrong with his kicking boot, as they would say, off his lasers, straight as an arrow through the heart. There we hear the Sebule chants, the Kudus faithful starting to feel that this could actually be their year. Great, much better line out there. Adrian Boyson with ball in hand. It takes 3 to tango, does it seem, from his end. Danko Berger, one must highlight that. Oh, Lloyd Jacobs there, fumbling the ball. Again, not having the best of games, except for the one interception that he actually made today, Lloyd. I think Roger Thompson should quickly notice that and see the potential that he has on the bench in the form of Zulu, of course, just to replace Lloyd and maybe bring on a fresh pair of legs. They could lose it. One of the substitution that we have missed there, Donovan, I see number 22 making his way onto the field for F&B Wanderers. Ruben Botha, great scrum there. The pass not finding hand to Nativatu Karuombe. The ref goes backwards. Jurgen Meyer, the speedster with ball in hand. A few knocks there. Offside is the call. Quick tap. Wanderers goes. Jacques Throne with ball in hand. Offloads it to his Number 10 there, Danko Berger. Again, Wanderers being a bit too physical when they can let the ball do the work. Jagtron with ball in hand plays Adrian Boyson, who's tackled well there by Justin Newman, who has been having such a great season so far. Makes another but slips. Your Thompson. Hans Koshi.
I think it is worth a mention, Henry, that Danko Berger has gone to his preferred number 12 position with their captain in Jagtron taking then the number 10 position. Reuben Botha, of course, slotting into the scrum half position. So maybe some tactics are changed there to try and probably attain a different result. As they say, hypocrisy is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I think they've gone for counter hypocrisy in this sense, in trying to change something and hopefully change the outcome of the game, Henry.
No, definitely there, Donovan. Well summed up. Joe Losper there, also getting some medical attention. Hans Koshi looking like he does not want to be on the field, one must say. Loss of breath. Joe Losper there on your screen. Probably just got a hit. Former father plays for Rio Falcons. Back in the days, great, much better line out there from Edward Drotsky, who's looking like a mere shadow of himself. The ball keeps moving. Release it. Great jump thrown. Is that lost forward or was it an offload? According to Zaid Olafir, he calls it a lost forward ball. Forward pass, I must say. Also, just to mention, making his way to the field, Dandre Plaikis. Joran Koning, who went off due to an injury, looks like a shoulder or an arm injury somewhere there. Shumbe with ball in hand, ready to feed the scrum. So far, dominance scrum-wise has been favoring F&B Kudus. Time off course, Zaid Olafir. Feet to the scrum is steady. Shumba plays on the blind side where Captain Fantastic is there. Hoist is high up the field. Johnny van der Mueno steps back inside. Offloads to Nandivatu Karuombe. Throws it out. Wanderers living dangerously. They're playing rugby individually. Player down there. I think the tempo is just too high. The guy just arrived and he's already down. Speaks volumes about the tempo of the game. The score, if you're just joining us, is 37-15 in favor on F&B Kudus. The man down there, apologies, is Carl Williams. On the ground also is Lucio Isaacs.
Henry, I think Kudus having done so well for about 50 minutes of this game, the question that will come will be, will they be able to, as we see a yellow card there on Wanderers captain Jack Tron, who gets a yellow card for disciplinary issues. As I was saying, one will wonder whether or not Kudus will tire in the remaining 20 minutes of this game, or whether they'll be able to carry this momentum, as we see some of the guys like Lucio Isaks already trying to, or starting to feel some jitters for having obviously played a tough encounter last weekend as well, Henry.
I think their third lung will obviously be the crowd today, as we can hear them in the stands chanting their Sebule Sebule song as we wait for Fear to feed the line out. They have been having the better line outs, one must say. Kudus and Zaid calls there. As we look in the picture there, disappointed Wanderers fans. One must highlight that Wanderers could be feeling the pressure, taking into consideration that their captain is now in the sin bin. Man down there, but Wanderers opting to tap fast. Backwards is the call from Ref Zaid. Olafir, Danko Berger trying to inspire. Kudus very quick on the loose balls. Hans Gosche with ball in hand. Beats one, keeps going. Looking like a one-man team so far. Ball is the call. That becomes a turnover ball for FNB Kudus. Hans Koshi doing so well, yet not so well there.
Henry, talk about going from zero to hero in one passage of play. Hans Goshi started off that passage brilliantly, and then unfortunately in the end couldn't retain the ball, as the maul was called and Wanderers couldn't get the ball out on time for turnover then to Kudus.
Apologies there for my co-commentator. He meant a hero to a zero and not zero to a hero, as he started off so well, yet failed to just go a bit lower in that incident. As we wait for the restart there, the crowd definitely getting restless, anxious, exciting. As we look once more again there, the substitute who came on, Ruben Bota there, on your screen. Shumbe was about to feed so successfully. The blue scrum, I must say, scrumming illegally there. Interesting time to see, Donovan. What would you have done as a Wanderers player, knowing that you have Danko, who has the boot to go for points?
I think 3 points is not going to be enough for them. They need to get a 7-pointer. They need to score next, and especially score 7 points. So I think they went for the more logical thing there, with Nandika Ruambe on the ball. He gets past Lloyd Jacobs with ease, storms onto the line, and Johnny van der Muenyo there scores brilliantly in the corner. Zaid Wolafir consulting his assistant, but all system goes, and it's a try there awarded to Johnny van der Muenyo. Ladies and gentlemen, he finally comes to the party, and it's a 17-point game at the moment, Henry, with the kick to come. Wanderers, as I said, they needed to be the next scorers. They've done so. They need to convert this and get back into the game. 20 minutes left, 24 minutes left, and 15 points in it should they convert this. I think it's pretty much still game on, Henry.
Definitely game on there. Great strength shown there by the Wanderers team. It's good to see that they're scoring even when they are men down. with their captain in the sunburn, Johnny, to add an additional 2 points to make the deficit 15, as the crowd trying to put him under pressure there. And the pressure of the crowd does work as he hoisted drastically far. It's more of a punt than it is a kick to goal, one would say. As we look at that replay again, Nadiba Tukarume inside outside, poor Lloyd Jacobs. Bota there making the most of the situation, and Johnny just forcing that try around to score that 5-pointer. The score, as it stands, again, we're looking at that try, and slow-mo. Lloyd Jacobs, after the contact with Nadiba Tukarombe, brought out to replace the experience Aurelio Plato, who now slots in the number 10 jersey, and Koopman moves to the number 15 position, of course. Great turnaround, turnover ball there by F&B Kudus. Aurelio Plato with Benhen Muihis looking like a problem today. Aurelio Plato exposing and being able to notice that there is nobody at home. Siep Lucio with ball in hand. So far the wall of Wanderers standing firm. Sabek, very strong ball carrier there. Brushes off one tackle. Once again, the beast. Mwishe with ball. Ya Thompson, difficult feather to get down as well. Aurelio Plato with ball in hand, who exposed just a new man. Overlap, of course, but not letting the ball, releasing it early there. Shumbe with ball in hand. Can they not? Knocks it forward. That is what you call a coach killer. Definitely so many chances of them being able to convert. However, the pass just not finding its man. Quick tap there by Thompson, who does so successfully and scores the try. Poor defense once more again from F&B Wanderers. I'm losing count now. That's almost the 4th try where they're caught napping.
Absolutely, Henry. I think the body language has been off in this one for a long time. It's looked like they have a calmness around them, but one might wonder if they're just not awake or ready for this encounter. Ja Thompson, on the other hand, is a player that has been banging game after game for the past 4-5 games of the season, and if there was a player that deserves to score in this game, it's definitely Ja Thompson van der Berg.
Aurelio there to add an additional 2 points to move the score to 44-20. Some might actually conclude that this game is by far won. As we look at that replay again, a quick tap again, uncharacteristic there from Rousseau, who was caught napping and didn't make the tackle. Hans Koshi again in the midst of it all. Yeah. Ashton Mukulongo, the one-on-one nightmare. Aurelio Plato slowing the game, playing at his own composure. Johnny van der Mueno with ball in hand will return the favor. Dangerous play there, Johnny. Very, very dangerous play. Great defense, one must say, from F&B Kudus. Decision making wise, Johnny risky there. Great run, trying to run it out of their own 22. Poor pass there by Joe Losper, who gives it to the speedster. Jurgen Meyer, who chips and chase. Can he make it his own try? Tackle shot, however, Edward Klotsky. Give Jurgen Meyer half a gap and he is gone. Inspirational stuff there by the youngster who played in the Barters Under 20 Africa Cup. showing his experience. Edward Drotsky, who's not having such a great day from the lineouts today. However, will this count as a consolation try, or is this the comeback that Wanderers needed? Johnny Mwenyo adding an additional 2 points, which brings the score to 27-44. Donovan, 2019, the score was almost similar between Trusker United and FNB Unam. The score was 44-24 in favor of Unam with 10 minutes to play. However, Trusker United made the most of it and won the game 44-42. Jurgen Meyer there once more again with a never say die attitude. Gave us his own kick, met well by the captain of FNB Kudus, Edward Drotsky, picking off like a hyena would. Making his way on the field there. Duzo Tandarai in place of Lucio Siep, who has gone off due to an injury. As we restart this game, it's collected by Joe Losper, who beats one-on-one, caught by Ashton Mukulongo, however not held. According to the ref, the tackle was made and had to release the ball. According to Zaid Wolafir, we must also notice that the captain, Jack Tron, is back on the field after a 10-minute recess to think of his sins that he's committed. Great touch finder there by the captain of FNB crew. In the stands also there, Pikes, Peter Dirgat, Obert Norkier, national team players of course, doing preps for the 3 games that the Volviches have to play, namely Uganda, Pumas, as well as Italy. Get your tickets ready for that one as well. As we get back underway with the game, Aurelio Plato finding Justin Newman, who's stepping inside, met well there by Adrian Boyson. Illegal clean out there according to the ref. Jack Tron trying to inspire before he expires. Nandivatu Karuombe one-on-one with Tandarai. Great defense there. Adrian Boyson at the base of the ruck finds Hans Koshi. Great carry there by Hans Koshi. Discipline once more again, Donovan, letting FNB Kudus. Again, maybe it's time for Ruan Ludik to exit the field, as he hasn't been present today, Donovan. Not even at what he's known for, the lineouts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's been very quiet in this encounter. He's been lackluster. He's been second best, even to himself, at a lot of times in this game. Kudus unable to kick the ball out there with Johnny van der Mueno on the ball. He finds Danko Berger. Great physique there shown by Danko Berger. Jack Tron there on the ball, trying to get one wide for Jurgen Meyer, but unfortunately not the case. They are brought back then for a penalty to Wanderers, and offside being the call there by referee Zaid Wolafir. Ruben Boer gets us off. Jurgen Meyer now on the ball. He's going to try to see what he does against Eston Makalengo. Great kick there from Wanderers. From Kudus, I beg your pardon. Eston Makalengo trying to find his way upfield.
Secured there by FNB Wanderers. Going on the blind side again with the vice captain. Forward pass is the call there by Zaid Olafir. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot of the ref was against us after this game, Donovan, taking into so many of the calls being made against the Wanderers side. Of course, again, discipline has really been the the summary of today's game, where most of the calls have really been against the Wanderers. As you hear the chants there, Zulu, the Z Express train, about to make his way onto the field as he gets his last instructions from his coach, Sean. PJ Walters with a great carry, bumps off Jack, who remains on the floor. However, ball lost forward. It was a clash of the captains. However, PJ Walter definitely won that clash.
It seems like a serious head emergency as we see the medical team rushing to the aid of the Wanderers captain in Jack Tron, who was absolutely bamboozled there. As Bapewa Kauova Babsi would say, that was serious on Mutang Siena.
That was on Mutang Sia. One must have to mention that. However, head injuries are something taken very seriously. As you see there, the time brought to a standstill to attend to Jack Tron. As you see again, the onmutangs, as they would call it, of the captains. Head on the wrong side of the shoulder there. Definitely technique was the problem in that incident. And strength, of course, from the train in the form of PJ Walters. At least time off for Wanderers to just do a recollection and just notice what it is that they want. There is the people's team. Clearly, winter doesn't affect people from the coast.
Henry Jagtron got lined up and he got knocked out like a candle on a 21st birthday, hey?
No, definitely, that was definitely a huge encounter between the two captains. As we also see there, Justin Newman leaving the field. The Z Express, number 22 there for the F&B Kudus. Again, that unfortunate incident there, PJ Walters just running over Jack Tron, a clash of the captains. Just previously, we also had a Walters in the form of Keenan Walter, who won this reserve league. Clearly, the Walter brothers are really making the most of today's battle. If you're just joining us, we are live at Hage Geingob Stadium for the Premier League final. If you missed the two previous fixtures, as you see there on the screen, that is what they are fighting for. That is what Jack Tron went down for. Seems to be a very serious encounter there by the two captains. That is what they are playing for today. It seems blurry right now, but best believe it will be very clear at the end of the game. As you see there, the Wanderers management not very happy about the performance so far. Former national team player as well there, Daryl De La Hav, who is currently the coach. As everybody rises for the unfortunate incident there on the captain of Wanderers, Jack Tron. Substitution readied by the Wanderers there. Unhappy Wanderers fans. We are about to witness history here today as FNB Kudus makes their way to the first ever final and staring at the barrel of the first ever win. Very unfortunate incident there by Jagtron as he strapped off to the field. Scrum fed there, we are back into the game. Johnny Tolly with ball in hand, who just came off the bench. Forward pass is the call there by linesman Yorei Bota. Again, nothing seems to be working for FNB Wanderers as it stands. As if not a forward pass, it's a knock-on. If not a knock-on, it's a great tackle by the Kudus defense. If not that, then nothing just seems to be working, Donovan.
Yeah, absolutely, Henry. And you can see the body language on the management or coaching staff of Wanderers as well, that they seem to be very defeated, and that is also transpiring onto the field. And Henry, since we mentioned the management of Wanderers, I think it's important to mention to our viewers and especially the young kids watching that the body language of the manager or management, it always transpires onto the players. And one might wonder whether or not the management had somewhat of an easy daisical attitude leading up to this game, Henry, as Wanderers were clearly not into this one for a very long time in this game, and now they find themselves having to chase the game with 13 minutes left of play. I think they shot themselves in the foot through attitude here, Henry.
Definitely, Donovan. One must highlight and see what exactly that Nandivatu Karwombe tries saving interception there. However, obstruction is the call. Penalty to FNB Wanderers, FNB Kudus, sorry. Patience is the name of the game. They opt to kick for post. That is the most logical thing, one would assume, just to extend the score. As you can see there on the bench of FNB Wanderers, Owen, who had a great game last weekend, however, today seems like he'll not be getting any touch of this game. They experienced Aurelio Plato there with ball in hand to extend the score even further. Just to mention, Donovan, we earlier spoke about none of the FNB Kudus players being in the national team. Perhaps they may not be the best players, but clearly they are the best team when it comes to synergy and just how well-oiled they are. You also mentioned previously how lackluster you saw the management having been of FNB Wanderers. Perhaps they came here thinking that it's going to be an easy game, taking into consideration they did beat FNB Kudus in the league.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Kudus have definitely been the hungrier side for a very long time. Not just today, or not just this season rather, but for quite some time they've been hungry and they've been showing that they want this. Their fans have been proclaiming that on social media, and so it was expected of them when they finally made their way here that they were going to come and try to go all the way. And what one might mention with bad pass there from Johnny van der Mueno, one might mention he's one unlucky bloke, having played at Wanderers a few seasons ago, the season that Wanderers didn't win it. I think you guys won it in United, and then he went back to UNAM, and then unfortunately last year UNAM lost it in the final against Wanderers, and now he finds himself back at Wanderers this season, and again he's finding himself on the losing end of another final. So one might wonder if Johnny van der Mueno might just be the curse here in the Wanderers side, or whether it is the fact that no team has gone 3 in a row in Namibian Premier League history. Could that be the curse of the 3-peat that's coming after Wanderers today, Henry?
No, definitely. There's so many factors one can consider. However, the most logical thing that we can consider today as how much Kudus have worked and how much they have deserved to win this game, Donovan. How hard they have grafted over the years. This becomes their fourth consecutive year where they've been playing playoffs. Last year fell short to FNB Wanderers in the semi-finals. However, now they find themselves in the final against the same team that beat them last year and currently leading with 20 points with only 10 minutes to play. As you can see also and here in the stands, the chants of the Kudus, everybody on their feet, exciting and waiting for that final whistle. Joe Losper there, sorry, Rassou brought off, of course. As Owen Awanga makes his way on the field. It's going to be a party today in Walvis Bay as both their teams have won or stare at winning. High kick there, Tolin meets it well, goes right through the Kudus defense, inspiring fullback run there by Tolin Shipute, who just came off on the bench. Wanderers clearly fighting to the deck. Joe Losper, Johnny with ball in hand, who plays Ruan Ludik, who has been a mere shadow of himself. Again, Johnny doing a bit too much, trying to redeem himself. One would say, I think it's sticking back to basics that he should be doing right now. After the season that he just had, it's sad to see that his semi-finals as well as the finals does not look as convincing as it should be. Nandi Matukaruombe with a quick tap there. Wanderers trying to speed up the process. Dummy back inside by Wanderers number 5 there. JP Campbell. Again, one would wonder if Wanderers are just not trying to do too much. All season they've been the most composed team, but today they look a bit rattled and trying to do things that are very uncharacteristics of them, like quick taps, for example. We've known them to be a team of structure, team of composure, and right now it looks as though that is not the case. Things from the practice ground there, as you can see.
I think, Henry, in the famous words of the great Mike Tyson, everybody has a plan until you get knocked onto your butt. And that's what happened to Wanderers today, as they score finally a brilliant try there through Adrian Boyson. Yeah, like I was saying, everybody has a plan, and Wanderers have had a plan throughout the season, brilliantly executed. But today they didn't expect for the wind to be knocked out of their sails the way it was today, and they found themselves having to chase this game, Henry, after Kudus came into this one with a different type of energy. We all expected altitude. Johnny Mwenyo misses again, and then the score line then remains 32-47, which is then a 15-point score line with 7 minutes left of play.
Donovan, do you believe and think that the champions, or if after today there will be the former champions, can still come back into this game? Do you think time is within their favor, taking into consideration that's 3 converted tries that they need to score in order to get back into this one?
Henry, anything can happen in a game of rugby. 7 minutes is still a long time of play, or a long time to play. But judging by the body language and what we've seen for 74 minutes of this game, I don't see them coming back into this one, Henry.
Great run there by FNB Wanderers, however, playing against themselves again. Verfies there with ball in hand, who so far has been having such a great game. Great carry there, beats one, beats through, still going, but brought down. Great tackle once more again for F&B Wanderers, defending well. Great carry there by Carl Williams. Penalty is the call. The logical thing to do is kick at post, extend the score even further. However, there, as you can see, Irongwa, Ashubidi, the Zulu, the Z Express, trying to up the tempo again.
Henry, I think one will have to ask a few questions. Wanderers having dominated the Namibian Premier League for a couple of years, one has to ask the question, what went wrong this year? Could it be that they have a lot of vastly unexperienced players? One of them being Hans Gossi at prop, having played in the second team of UNAM last year, and now having to carry the burden as Aurelio Plato converts that penalty. Henry, Hans Gossi having to carry the burden of playing Premier League and especially filling the boots or shoes of great players that played for Wanderers in that jersey, the likes of Johnny Redling Hayes and most recently Herschel van Wyk, as we see Eston Wakalongo there, the one-man nightmare leading up there, the charge for Kudus as they come back to the halfway line. Aurelio Plato there on the ball. He finds his prop, who then charges forward there, and unfortunately a penalty for a side entry there, penalty to Wanderers, and they try then through Danny van der Merwe to re-up the tempo. Owen Hawanga there on the ball on the sideline. Great run there from Owen Hawanga, and he retains the ball there for Wanderers to try and see what they can do in these dying minutes of this game. A double tackle there on Ruben Botha, who does well to retain the ball through a sevens style technique, and then a counter-ruck there from the Kudus faithfuls. A brilliant counter-ruck attempt as they win a penalty there, Kudus, and one gets a sense that that might just be the final blow or the stroke that breaks the camel's back, Henry.
Definitely, Donovan, you have summed it up so well. It seems like West F&B Wanderers are down and out in this one. That mistake that came, that penalty that came again, came from no support. There are a few players in the F&B Wanderers jersey that really still want to play and make the most of this. However, a rugby game is played by a team and not individuals. And right now, as you can see the smile there on Captain Fantastic, all the way from Karasburg, traveled over 1,000 kilometers just to get to Walvis to be able to win and lift this trophy. The Captain Fantastic, PJ Walters. Great line out once more again. Aurelio Plato, Carl Willemser carries down the middle of the field. Great retention of the ball. Aurelio Plato again with ball in hand. Great carry, great support also as well from F&B Kudus. Seems like the Z Express is on scrum half, very uncharacteristic position of him, of course. Direct kicking there. PJ Walters, he has been on his A game with kicking today. However, that specific kick is not a true reflection of what has been of his game.
Henry, having already won the Reserve League and now leading by a large mile in this game, would you say Kudus finally lived up to the billing and especially their name? Oh, and a beautiful pass there by Danko Berger, which is then ruled to be a forward pass. But again, to ask my question, would you say Kudus are now finally, as they have for a long time, selfly proclaimed to be the greatest in Namibian rugby. Would you say that they currently live up to that name and they are rightfully the greatest team in Namibian rugby?
Greatest would be far-fetched, Donovan, one must say. However, one must applaud the building blocks of matter that Kudus have been building over the years. You could see growth, and just the touch of Roger Thompson in the Kudus side, you can see the difference, the blend of the young and the old, the experience and the inexperience. Lucio, Shumbe, Koper, just to mention a few of the unexperienced players, as well as Aurelio Plato, Lloyd Jacobs, PJ Walters, just bringing in that extra experience. I think deservedly so. They have worked very hard and deservedly are the champions this year. However, the game is not done. We cannot conclude, but the margin and the gap that is currently there is just a bit way too much for there to be a comeback. About a minute to play this game. Ruan again just summing up his game basically with that carry. Definitely today absent as a player of his caliber.
Henry, you mentioned the name Roger Thompson, and we saw what he did at UNAM last year, having obviously been the difference at UNAM, obviously being the assistant coach to Russell van Rooy, but obviously being the brains behind a powerful resurgence from UNAM, and now again this year taking over a Kudus team that has always struggled to get over that final hurdle, and now he's brought them not just to the drinking place, but he's made them drink from the cup. Henry.
Definitely, Donovan, you have summed it up so well. Roger Thompson being a mastermind when it comes to the rugby game. I remember a few years back he came to United, and UNAM were undefeated for over 30 games plus. He basically just introduced a move that unlocked the whole UNAM defense, and that is how good of a coach that he is. United ended up winning that game for the first time to break UNAM's unbeaten streak. Again, Donovan, one has to say FNB Kudus are the champions of the Premier League 2025. Roger Thompson, as you can see there, being chased around by the Kudus faithful as they celebrate Sebule, 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 Kudus. Congratulations to FNB Kudus for heartfelt, as you can see the emotions there and what it means to the Kudus player. They have worked tirelessly to take it this year. Champions, FNB Kudus. Donovan, over to you.
Henry, absolutely mad scenes at the stadium right now. Everybody buzzing, everybody in blue at least, buzzing for this wonderful, brilliantly orchestrated victory by the great man himself, Roger Thompson. He's done a brilliant work. He's done brilliantly for this Kudus team, and for a Kudus team that like I said earlier, always seem to just fall short, always seem to just come one hurdle too low, one hurdle too slow. Today, they come all the way, and it's nobody else but Roger Thompson. He's been a great difference. He's been a great ambassador of Namibian rugby. He's done a lot for this game. He was involved with the national team. He's now at Kudus in Walfish Bay, and he has done a great job. He's a man of faith himself. I know he will attribute this to his Lord and Savior in Jesus Christ, but all in all, it's been great. And Roger Thompson, take a bow.
Take a bow there. The captain, Cameron Langerhoven, also joining the celebrations there. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be part of this final as Kudus take this Premier League final. Last weekend we were talking about the golden buzzer and making it to the finals. And this weekend, your Idols winner for 2025 is definitely Kudus. Look at the crowd there. You can see what it means to the Kudus faithful as we sing Sebule, Sebule, Sebule. Tanderai, who also left FNB UNAM to win the Premier League title with FNB Kudus. Kudos to FNB Wanderers for making it this far and being flawless throughout the season. However, did not win when it mattered most. Donovan, earlier you mentioned the inexperience of some of the sides, of some of the players in the Kudus, in the Wanderers team. However, I beg to differ and say that they're quite vastly experienced when it comes to the fact that they have about 7 national team players who have national team caps. And I mean, you look at the Kudus that have not found any of these guys. Some of them are second team players, reserve league players. However, they've been, you can see there the captain Cameron Clausen in your picture just saying grace. As we look at the highlights of the second half, kickoff by your new champions Kudus there. That was the try by Koopman, who found Wanderers dozing, scoring that acrobatic try. Great individual awareness there by Koopman. Previously won it with the F&B Kudus second reserve league. Now wins it again with, of course, the Premier League. 2 consecutive medals there for him. Joe Losper, who inspired from the get-go, also one of the great standout players today for F&B Wanderers. However, his efforts really fell short today, as rugby is played as a team and not individuals. Of course, Kudus proved and showed that. Nandivatu Karwombe there, who ran around over Lloyd for Johnny to score the try there in the corner. Again, as we look at Johnny's try in the corner there, very unauthentic try from F&B Wanderers. Again, caught napping there by Thompson, who scores right in the middle of the post. As we are about to cross over with CJ, with the coaches and the captain of, or vice captain of F&B Wanderers. CJ, over to you.
Tough loss for Wanderers at the end of the day. The defending champions no more. And we've got Danku Burger here with us just to take us through that game. Danku, unfortunate, not the result that you guys were looking for. How are you feeling after this match?
Yeah, CJ, I think at the end of the day, that's life. So we prepared for this game, and obviously everybody wants to win the final. But hats off to Kudus, congratulations. Obviously they showed up today, and they wanted it more than us, so that's why, yeah, hats off to them.
Where do you think they capitalized on maybe mistakes or things that they just pulled away from you guys?
So we said this week we're going to focus on a fast start. That did not happen for us. We played against the wind, and they scored first points. They put the pressure on us, and from there on, it was only catch up, and then we put ourselves under pressure. We tried funny stuff, and then they capitalized on that mistakes.
Your words to Kudus as the new champions, and doing so historically.
Yeah, first final for Kudus, and actually winning in the first final. So congratulations, that's a massive milestone for them as a club. Hopefully we'll see them in the next competition, but enjoy this one, Kudus, and we'll see you next year.
Congratulations, a hard-fought battle, but best of luck with, of course, the Velviches and the Namibian campaign that's still ahead.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
There you have it, of course, Danku Burger having a chat with us, but it's, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the coach of Chebule. Kom coach,
Hey, Kudus.
Coach, congratulations. How are you feeling? Talk to us about that victory and doing so historically.
It's 4 years of hard work, coming close. And we had a hard week, prepared well. We had a video session twice. We identified a few soft spots and Wanderers, armor as you call it, and we exposed it today.
What would be those soft spots that you worked on in exposing on Wanderers' side?
We targeted their lineouts and their scrums because we knew as soon as they get momentum, the third phase, they carry hard around the corner. The first 10 minutes they showed scoring at 2 tries, so we had to cut them off on the third phase, rush and push them back in.
Congratulations, coach, and enjoy the celebrations tonight.
Thank you.
Now we're not done with Kudus just yet. We've got Captain Fantastic as by Henry Kanjo in my ears. The one, the only, PJ. Congratulations. Ek bly hoor hierso in my oor. Die man van Karasburg. Wat sê jy vir Karasburg, brother?
Dus ek moet sê om ver van die suide af te kom, klein dorpie. En Karasburg Walvis Bay is dieselfde. It's a small community. And coming from a small town, the Walvis Bay community accepted me as a proud boykie from Walvis Bay. But I have to say thank you for the whole community in Walvis Bay. This is not a team effort, but a community effort. And thank you to the whole community of Walvis Bay for today.
PJ, you guys made history. How are you feeling as the first team to make it not just to the finals, but to lift that cup in a moment's time?
To be honest with you, it's still sinking in at the moment. And this whole week, it's been playing through as a tape that's on replay the whole time, and I can't explain the feeling. It's phenomenal to lead the boykies, to lead a community team like this. I'm immensely proud of everyone from Walvis Bay.
And then maybe lastly, what is your message to the coaching staff, the men behind the scenes that have been really putting in the hard yards for you guys to be able to be here?
I would just like to say thank you to the boys, first team, second team. It's been a whole group effort. Just my message to the boys is thank you, and hold your heads high. This is a proud moment for the whole community.
Congratulations once again, and celebrate the night away.
Most definitely. Thank you very much.
There you have the Chebule team all the way from Walvis Bay takes the victory against all odds here at the Huggy Geinkup Stadium, of course, against the former defending champions, Wanderers. But there's a new champion in town. It's over to the boys in blue.
Yeah, 10 years ago, 2015, UNAM Rugby Club found themselves in the final for the very first time. Today, 10 years later, Kudus find themselves in the final for the very first time, and they've won the league. Both these teams won the league on their very first attempt. Could this be what UNAM did after that is gone on a complete league dominance for 3 years, 2 or 3 years running? Do you think this is about to be the birth of a new Kudus revolution, or a revolution from the West, if I may, Henry?
Definitely no, Donovan. You just mentioned 10 years ago how UNAM were forced to reckon with after almost not existing. However, the difference is the building blocks that F&B Kudus has put up over the years, and how well we have seen them grow over the years. The man in your picture there, Lloyd, definitely part of the building blocks of F&B Kudus. Definitely, one must also mention the fact that they have such a young squad, yet not too old squad. Well, average age of 26 years. One must highlight. So there is still so much time. If you are able to win the Reserve League and as well as win the Premier League, somewhere somehow there is chances of growth in the future. Of course, there the man in your picture, Sean, who has worked tirelessly alongside Roger Thompson to make this club the success that it is. Cash Money there also receiving his medal. Finally, after 10 years, after years of knocking on the door, after years of growth, after years of building, F&B Kudus are the champions of the Premier League. As we see there, they get ready to celebrate. The captain there, PJ Walters, receiving the trophy. Yes, it is 2025 champions F&B Kudus, who deservedly wins it. One must say that my man of the match today would be the captain, PJ Walters, who inspired from the front, as well as Koopman, who did exceptionally well in controlling the tempo of the game. Stand off is the chant by the Kudus favorite.
This is absolutely beautiful to watch. What a scene. Beautiful, beautiful day for rugby. I think today rugby was the greatest victor. Having seen the hard work and persistence of Kudus getting rewarded today through both their Premier and Reserve League teams. Unfortunate for Wanderers, as guys like Hans Goshi don't know where to look, don't know what to say. And unfortunately, they're going to have to come back and see what they can do in the second round. As I'm hearing, there will be a second round of the league that will be then played and concluded after the international series.
Yes, Donovan, one must highlight that I think part of Wanderers' shortcoming was also the fact that they were lackluster coming into the game. I think the comfort of winning throughout the season kind of made them very comfortable, thinking that they obviously cannot be undefeated. Well, if you're just joining us in commentary today, it's Henry Wenjithuvera Kanjo, alongside me, Donovan Kanji, who witnessed yet a historical moment by the FNB Kudus, who are now crowned champions of the Namibian Premier League 2015. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blockbuster of a season. From me and Donovan Kanji in the commentary booth, it's bye-bye for now.